Hello, everybody. Joey Blaze here once again. Wanted to go over the TBT top 25 rankings post Lydia's Legacy and pre Charm City Classic. I know we did this last night on an episode of Blunt Talk. However, after a couple of mistakes were realized after the show, I decided to go back and do a revisal rather, of everything from last night and see what it's going to look like instead. So without further ado, here are my updated rankings. We'll talk team by team and case by case. So we're going to move down the slide here. Sorry for the slideshow once again. I was actually a teacher once upon a time, so kind of used to doing these. Let's take a look at the teams debuting at the Charm City Classic in 2021 for 9-man. First, the Jets out of the OMFFL. Their core group played as one motion last fall in the league. They'll be making a return to league play this fall. We'll see what kind of team they have, how many guys returned from that one motion squad last year. I had a chance to take a look at them against Madness back in the first week of the regular season last fall, and they did not look too bad for a young, inexperienced team. They did bring along some players, most notably Al from Misfits, who right now is putting in the work in the A scene and within OMFFL. And so, they definitely can bring a lot to the table, and there's a lot of potential for this team. We'll see what they got. They're going to be in a bracket with the New York Rebels and Southside. So a nice little mix of different squads there. We'll see how the Jets do at the Charm City Classic. The next team on the list is the Baltimore Spartans out of the LMFFL. They're returning to 9-man after a few years' absence, former league team. Chris Wright will be leading the way from what I was told by Robbie Sparks. I had an opportunity to watch Chris Wright when he was with the Chargers and eventually combined forces / the Thunderbirds. He's a QB who could definitely do a great job in managing the game and keeping you in play the whole time. One of those guys to look out for. We'll see how this team does and what the squad brings to the table at the Charm City Classic this year. They'll be facing against Nomads in Gusto Land. So we look forward to seeing that. Speaking of Gusto Land, they're out of the YAFFL, returning to 9-man. Last time we saw them in 9-man was at Clash of York 2, where they fell to Baez Auto in the quarterfinals. They've been getting work over in the YAFFL this spring. They've appeared in 2 different tournaments, Just Win Hanover and Just Win 8s. For those of you who don't know, the YAFFL York 8-man style is an in-between of 8-man and 9-man. You have the 3 down linemen, and like a 9-man, however, they can come and catch a ball as long as they stay within a certain range. They can't go too far down the field before catching it. So it plays almost more of akin to a 9-man style. Over at Just Win Hanover, they lost in the quarterfinals on day 2 to the Wolverines. And most recently in Just Win 8s, they ended up falling in the semifinal in the comp bracket, which is the highest level of York 8-man, considered to be the A level or pro level, so to speak. They fell to Baez Auto there in the semis. So Gusto definitely will be coming back. I look forward to seeing what they got. This was a team who in fall of 2019, they showed a lot of flash and potential. You remember they beat Rideout in their first 9-man game, fell in the quarterfinals. However, the Clash of York to Rampage and an overtime thriller. The next month, they dueled the Misfits in the Winter Chiller. Last year in Clash of York, we saw what they could do. They managed to get a win on Saturday over the Scorpions. This is a team that also beat BC Elite last summer in the summer showdown. Gusto is definitely a squad to look out for. Glad to see them back in 9-man. They'll be playing the Baltimore Spartans at Rampage. So we have an opportunity to see what they can do. Also on the list is DX out of the OMFFL. From what I gather, it's a rebooted version of Elite. Elite was a team that had a lot of struggles last year. Or last season, I should say, in the OMFFL. The O-line was obliterated. They only got through half the season before they forfeited the rest of it. Hopefully they have a bit more guys there and they can put it together at the Charm City Classic. Joining the list as well is OTF. They're a Virginia-based 9-man team playing A. Rumor has it, it could be a 7-point PME merger. If so, then I would consider it to be under the PME squad that we saw in Maffle this year, which had a good mix of both sides of that team, of both of those teams, I should say. So really looking forward to seeing what they have in store. That's the early indication. That's who it's going to be. At least that's the rumor I'm getting. I don't know how accurate that is. A lot of speculation. I guess we'll find out on Saturday. They'll be taking on FOE on Saturday, and I believe they have a second opponent, and maybe the Scorpions or main event. I don't quite have that on me at this time. Either way, really looking forward to seeing just what this team can do, this OTF squad. It's going to be the Scorpions, actually. We just confirmed that we're playing the Scorpions. So they'll be making their first appearance at Charm City, albeit I get the feeling we'll have some familiar faces on that team. Moving on now to other teams that are debuting. These teams are from the North, or in the case of one, the West. Outcast are a New Jersey-based team. From what I've been told, they usually play a 7-man style up there. So we're looking forward to seeing how they make the transition to 9-man and just who they have on their squad. Show Me Football, they're from the St. Louis 9-man league. They don't play regular season ball. They're a mix of guys from the Lou who come on out and play. My guys Skinny and Preston run that team. They did a great job, I felt like, improving the squad from Worlds last year to Nationals this year. Had a very competitive game with Ride Out at Nationals. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Show Me Football can do this time around. Borough Bullies are out of the XFFL. Can't really give too much on them at the moment. Looking forward to seeing them. Gladiators, we all know about Johnny LaCourte and what he can do, the resume, the championships. Johnny's always had a squad, but it's a little uncertain what this Glads team is going to be like. The last time we saw them was at Nationals. They were 1-3 on the weekend. Had a lot of Showtime guys coming in over there. They won't be there this time around. It's going to be interesting to see what Johnny LaCourte has in store for the Charm City Classic. Like we mentioned, 1-3 at Nationals. Their sole victory was over 7-point spread, but they took a loss along the way to take over the Scorpions as well as the Strong Island Bulldogs on Sunday. So we'll see what the Glads can do. They finished in the top 8 after Nationals. So, Johnny's been there. He definitely is going to have something in store at the Charm City Classic. They're going to take on Misfits and Dreams. So it should be really good to see what they can do. We're looking forward to it. This team making their first circuit appearance in 2021, but they've played some league ball along the way. Southside Underdogs, 5-5 out of Maffle. Along the way, they got some wins over AFN, 2 on the Blackhawks and 2 on FOE. Those are some pretty critical victories to have on your resume. They have an opportunity to really prove themselves in this tournament, playing against the Jets and the Rebels on day 1. They're a team that right now I would consider in that top 20, top 25 range on terms of where they could land at. We talk about it. They were a semifinalist in Maffle this year, following the Rampage. Traditionally, a local Maffle team. They're heading out the Charm City circuit play for the first time. I don't know if ever in a while. It's been a while since we've seen Southside. I know I haven't seen them yet. They had signed up for the Capital Classic last year before that was canceled. So thankfully, we'll get an opportunity to see Southside this time around. Looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table at the Charm City Classic. These teams did not meet the minimum qualifications of 8 games. Meant to put the teams on there so far. This is the ones locally from the Southern Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC, Virginia, West Virginia region. First 7-1-7 Elite, 2-5 out of the YAFFL. Their key win was against the New York Rebels. He got a Sunday victory over them in Atlantic City. Right now, I'd have them in the top 25, maybe unranked. It all depends on how they do. They will qualify for the next poll when that is released after the Charm City Classic. So we'll have a better idea of where 7-1-7 is. This is a team that's been putting in work no matter where it's been. They played in East Coast Nationals for the FFWCT in both 8-man and 5-man contact. They played in the YAFFL, just went 8s tournament a few weeks ago. They ended up being the number 2 seed going into day 2 before going 1 and done to the Maryland Select Patriots. 7-1-7 also appeared as OB City last week in the York 5-man big man tournament. So they're definitely out there. D. Will and Company, they're trying to get somewhere with this squad. They're trying to build a franchise. You could tell by the cross training and the different styles.
7-1-7 elite. They got some goals. Let's see what they can do in this tournament. They're going to have some tough draws, however, with AFN and Blackhawks. So we'll see how it goes. Baez Auto 4-2. They're out of the AFFL as well. They were Ocean City B runner-up to Rampage. Along the way, they got victories over the Tri-State Spartans, FOE, Riot Squad, and Brick Squad. Fell, however, to Rampage and the Bad Boys in OC. They were supposed to be in Atlantic City. However, they dropped out. I believe there was an injury to their quarterback, Ray Wagner, which kept them out of that tournament. They'll have an opportunity to crack that ranking by the end of the weekend. They'll go past that minimum of 8. We'll see how they do. They're going to take on Misfits and Dream on Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where Baez measures up on terms of A competition. We just saw them. They've been doing work in York all year long over at YAFFL. Just when Hanover, they were victorious in the championship over the Wolverines. And then just when 8, they managed to get a comp championship over Future of the Retro Invaders. And then just last week at YAFFL, just went big. They fell just short in the championship game to the XFFL. Baez has shown they can compete anywhere, any place, any style. Really looking forward to seeing how they do in the Charm City Classic. Moving along now to some other teams that did not meet the minimum qualifications. 148 Outlaws, key win. They beat the Misfits. Their only 2 losses were to the Punishers at AC. Ended up going 1 and done there in a game where Matt Bailey just turned the ball over too many times. 3 pick sixes and a pick 2. They were supposed to be at Lydia's Legacy. They withdrew from that. This team is normally a top 10, top 15 team. That's what I would project them as. Like AC showed, they're not a bad squad. They can hang with the best and beat the best. They just haven't had the minimum amount of games to qualify yet. They will not be at Charm City. So we'll see what ends up happening with the Outlaws over the next couple of months. I know they should be playing some league ball in Rhode Island very soon. I know Rhode Island 9-man just reopened. So we'll have some more updates on them as the summer ends and the fall begins. Top Dogs 3-4 semifinalists is what I was told at Lydia's Legacy B. You got to give them credit. A much better squad than what we saw in AC. They managed to get some wins. They're a very miserable Atlantic City tournament. They're a team that could be in that top 25 range. Had they got to the finals, they would definitely be in talks of being in that ranking, especially if they had gotten the B chip. This was a team in Top Dogs that went from 0 to a near hero. They got an upset on day 2 over the Long Island Demons. We're looking forward to seeing what this Top Dog squad does the rest of the way. They will not be at Charm City, however, so we'll see them again. I would imagine sometime down the road, if not very soon. 30 Birds, 3-4. This is a team that always plays tough, always plays hard. They played Rampage extremely close both times they faced them in Ocean City and Atlantic City. They managed to get a win over the Bulls along the way as well. Day 2 of AC, they beat Steel right out the gate. That was a game where Steel only had 8. However, once again, another close battle with Rampage in that Sweet 16. 7-0 was the final there. Steel showing that they are a team that, or not Steel, rather, Dirty Birds, thinking of their opponent. Dirty Birds showing that they are definitely that kind of team that will bring the fire and intensity every time. They just have not been able to find a solution on the offensive side of the ball, but that defense can play lights out. They will be at Charm City this weekend, I do believe. Looking forward to seeing the Dirty Birds for the first time since AC. They're one of those teams that I feel like is one to keep an eye on. Sorry about that. Computer sounds going off. Should never plug that in. That was my fault. A pre-recorded video and I'm still messing up. No second takes. We just keep rolling with it. They're going to be taking on Show Me Football at 11:20 on Saturday. That's going to be a really good game. Nice little clash of styles there between New Jersey and Missouri. So it should be a good matchup there, as well as the Apex Dragons right afterwards. So double slave for the Dirty Birds. They should be eligible for the next one when that comes up. We'll see how they do this weekend and where they land in the next poll. NWO 2-5. They're a team that's gotten in some work. They got a day 2 win over the Dragons. That's a pretty big win. They played the Blazers very tough at Lydia's Legacy last weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing what the NWO has in store.
this time around. When next tournament, rather, they're actually not going to be in Charm City. So we'll see what the NWO consists of. Looking forward to them down the road. Nomads 3-1. This is a team that was doing some work in AC, but got upset in the quarterfinals to an Empire squad that caught fire that weekend. Otherwise, the Nomads are always going to bring it. Very tough, physical, competitive team. Definitely a top 15, top 20 team. Once you hit that minimum, which they should have that opportunity provided they are able to secure a Sunday win in Charm City that would allow them to be in the next rankings, which, truth be told, is a team to look out for. Looking forward to seeing Nomads. They're going to be taking on the Baltimore Spartans and Rampage. So two very contrasting teams. It's going to be a good time either way. We'll see where the Nomads land at the end of the Charm City Classic. Main event, 4-1, defending A national champion. Along the way, they've beaten this year Elite Rebels, Dream, Lions, and the Scorpions. AC runner-up to the Strong Island Bulldogs. This team is top 5. They are always in that top 5 range. Only reason they're not there this time around, they haven't hit the minimum yet. They should have the minimum hit by the end of the first pool play game on Sunday, regardless of the result. So main event will be on the next poll. I think that's a guarantee at this point with the amount of work they put in. They're going to be taking on the No Mercy Scorpions and FOE on Saturday. So we're looking forward to seeing where main event ends up at. Blazers 4-3. They were a semifinalist in Lydia's Legacy A. They fell to the Rollers. That's a team that's always in the top 10, top 15 category. It'll be no difference when they're back on. They will not be at Charm City, however, so we'll have to wait a little bit to see the Blazers on that list. But those are the teams that did not meet the minimum qualifications. Next category, notable teams that missed a cut. 845 gang, 3-6 out of the GCFFA. They were set to debut at Lydia's Legacy, but backed out. So we're not going to have a chance to really see what they can do in terms of tournament circuit play yet. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see 845 gang before the year's out. Brick Squad next on there. My record I have for them is 4-3-1. If I'm incorrect, please let me know. They're out of the East Coast Flag Football League over there. They got key wins over the Maryland Titans, AFN, and the Blackhawks. Not so good performance I was hearing over the weekend with Lydia's Legacy. Hopefully they'll bounce back. They will not be at Charm City this weekend, however. Maryland Venom 5-12 out of the OMFFL. The records you see next to them in parentheses is the circuit record this year. Venom's got some key wins along the way, most notably the Washington County champion Broad Axe and Mathville champion No Mercy Scorpions. One of the few teams to beat 2 league champions this year. Just not enough for Venom consistency-wise. They're just short at the moment of the top 25. We'll see how they do this weekend. They're going to have Riot Squad and the Borough Bullies. We'll see how the Maryland Venom ends up. Bulls are next on there. They're 5-11 out of the OMFFL. This is a team that made a lot of noise early on in the season. We were talking about the potential with this Bull squad. Along the way, they did manage to beat the Bad Boys. That's their key win, their signature victory so far. Otherwise, though, one and done in the OMFFL playoffs. Bulls taking a step back. We got to see what they can do going forward. I'm really excited to see how this team grows. They're going to be out there this weekend. They'll be taking on Outcast and the Tri-State Spartans. Should be interesting to see where the Bulls measure up. New York Rebels next on that list, 6-1 out of the GCFFA. B runner-up to the Chain Gang. Did not get a win. They're actually 0-2-1. I had the record incorrect on there. 0-2-1. The sole tie coming to the affiliate nation with losses along the way to the Long Island Demons and 717 Elite in circuit play. Like I said, B runner-up to Chain Gang. We'll see what happens with the Rebels in this tournament. Looking forward to seeing how they perform. They'll have Southside and the Jets. Killer Bees missed a cut as well, 7-7. They're 0-3 in circuit play out of the KFFL. They won the league over the X-Dogs. Key win along the way was the Tri-State Spartans. This was a team at OC that just could not get their offense going. There was just no real consistency. They started with Josh Floyd on Saturday. However, Floyd didn't make day 2. They went with Houston, who's been around the team forever, on day 2, but unable to get any sort of offense against the Tri-State Spartans in the C semis. They did, however, get back at the Spartans in the KFFL semis.
However, this time around, no killer bees in this tournament. They're in a bit of a rebuilding phase right now over in KFFL. We'll see how they end up. I don't know when we'll see them again in the tournament. Hopefully very soon. Like what this Bees team can do, but right now they're just missing the cut. They're not going to be ranked. Moving on now, Chain Gang 7-3 out of the GCFFA. B champions over the Rebels. They've not played circuit ball this year. Their players have to some degree, I'd imagine, but the team itself, Chain Gang, we've yet to see. So we're not going to put them on there for the moment. We're trying to wait and see which teams jump on the circuit and perform, which don't. That's part of what this rankings is people who play circuit ball, but also with league records thrown in there as well. 9-man league only, no 8-man leagues or 7-man leagues included. Which brings us to the last team, X-Dogs, 8-6 on the year out of the KFFL. Runner up to the Killer Bees. However, they did get one of the Bees in the regular season up there in Shippensburg. X-Dogs will not be a Charm City Classic. Usually they're only about a 1 or 2 tournament a year team. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see more of them very soon. Always good to see the Dogs travel on the road. Let's go ahead and move on now to the rankings. This is what I got from 25 to 21. At 25 now is the Tri-State Spartans, 17-7 on the year. They play in both the Washington County Flag Football League and the KFFL. Third most 9-man games out of any team this year at 24. They'll hit number 25 when they take on the Bad Boys Saturday morning. They'll be playing the Bulls as well. So Tri-State going to get a bit of a tour of the OMFFL with the Bad Boys and the Bulls. Runner-up in the Washington County League to Broad Axe. Ocean City C runner-up to the Affiliate Nation. Their signature win right now is against the Killer Bees. They got a win on them back in the first week of KFFL, 28-0, as well as the semifinals of the Ocean City C bracket, beating them 12-0. Spartans really has something going there this year. They were close to winning both leagues in the 4-state area. They had a shot in Ocean City championship, a team of what could have been. Right now, they're sitting at 25th in the country. They have an opportunity this weekend to make some noise. We'll see what Tri-State can do. Number 24 is Broad Axe at 9-4 out of the Washington County Flag Football League. They won the league over the Tri-State Spartans. Their signature win against the Spartans 3 different times they beat them, twice in the regular season, once in the championship game. Another key one I throw in there would be the Warriors team they beat, which the Warriors are not playing on the circuit, but they definitely have a circuit-esque team. But otherwise, Broad Axe 0-3 this year in travel. They were very light in Ocean City, all things considered. They had nowhere near the team they had in Washington County this year, which I feel like if that full squad had a chance to travel, they would have done some work in OC. But unfortunately, they were just unable to get all those parts over there. As a result, not the best performance. 24th in this rankings. They will not be in Charm City. Broad Axe is up in the air right now. Hopefully, we'll see them again soon. But right now, they're kind of in a bit of a purgatory. But hoping the best. We'd like to see Broad Axe back there traveling soon. It's a team that definitely should be on the road more. Number 23 is the Long Island Demons, 7-12 out of the GCFFA. They play A-ball up there. They got some wins along the way on Broad Axe and the Killer Bees. Beat both 4-state champions. So a big statement there by the Demons. AC, they got to the quarterfinals. They ended up falling there to ride out. OC, they were 1-done to the Maryland Titans. They also got a win over AFN along the way. Demons have been able to put in work. They just have been struggling. They were knocked out very quickly by Top Dogs in day 2 of Lydia's Legacy. They will not be in Charm City this weekend. So we'll have to wait and see where the Demons end up at in a few weeks. Next on the list is the Dragons, listed as the Apex Dragons in the schedule. 6-6 this year out of the GCFFA. They managed to get a circuit win on the Demons when they faced off against them at Atlantic City. 1-done, however, to the NWO on day 2. Looking forward to seeing what the Dragons can do. I know Tony Peno out there putting in the work. Hell of a quarterback, very underrated on terms of QBs in the country. This is a team that definitely has that sort of potential to make a run. They're going to be in for a tough draw, however, come Charm City Classic, when they will be taking on the Maryland Titans and the Dirty Birds. So 2 very intriguing matchups for the Dragons. We'll see how they do. Number 21 is FOE, 8-6. They're 1-2 on the year in circuit play. They're out of Maffle. Along the way, they got some wins on AFN, Dream, Southside, and the No Mercy Scorpions. 2 A teams they got wins over. Got to give credit to the FOE for that. However, one and done in Ocean City to Baez Auto, and one and done as well to Southside and Maffle playoffs. They gave them the 2 seed. FOE's had that potential, but they just have not been able to capitalize on it yet. We'll see what they can do. They're going to be in for quite a different challenge at the Charm City Classic when they take on Main Event and OTF. Should be an interesting time and a good game all around both times. 20 through 16 right now. We're going to put this up. At number 20, we got the Blackhawks, 7-8 out of Maffle. They got some wins along the way on FOE, Dream, and Rampage. This was a team at Ocean City, got to the quarterfinals, but fell to Brick Squad after beating Team Petty. And the X-Dogs in that tournament. They did not play AC. Maffle playoffs, one and done to Dream, falling 18-3 in the quarters. We'll see how the Blackhawks bounce back in the Charm City Classic. They're going to be taking on 717 Elite and DX. So we'll see how that goes. Next team on the list, Affiliate Nation, 9-10-1 out of Maffle. They got wins along the way on Dream, Southside, Blackhawks, and the Tri-State Spartans. Ocean City C champions, we mentioned. Maffle fell in the quarterfinals to the Scorpions after beating Team Petty that morning. This was an AFN team that had a bit of a losing streak coming into the year on terms of circuit games. They snapped that when they beat the X-Dogs in day 2 of the Ocean City C bracket. Along the way, knocked off Venom as well before beating the Spartans to win it all. Atlantic City, they were able to get their first B circuit win in a long time, knocking off the Apex Dragons before tying the New York Rebels. AFN ended up one and done on Sunday, however, to the Long Island Demons. Not the Affiliate Nation we knew many years ago, but a team that's still going to be competitive either way. Look forward to seeing how they do in the Charm City Classic. Bad Boys, number 18, 8-10-1 out of the OMFFL. Key wins along the way, Baez Auto, Tri-State Spartans, Long Island Ducks, and the No Mercy Scorpions. This is a team in the Bad Boys that had a really good run in Ocean City. We talked about it, 4-1 that weekend. They ended up knocking off along the way Baez, Spartans, Ducks, and Bulls before falling to Rampage in the semifinals. Bad Boys and AC, tough sledding all the way. They had a very, very hard draw with the Browns and the Long Island Ducks. They had a tour of the GCFFA, fell short in both games. Managed to beat Venom on day 2. However, they were eliminated in the Sweet 16 by Rideout. Bad Boys entered this tournament 3-9 in their last 12. Before that, they were sitting at 5-1-1. And there was a lot of talks of what this team could be. We had them number 2 in the B rankings at one point, which would put them in the top 10 overall, but not the team that we were hoping to see. Some gelling issues, some chemistry issues. Bad Boys have not been that squad yet. We'll see if they can put it together at the Charm City Classic. They're going to have the Tri-State Spartans out the gate that morning, followed by Outcast right after. So we'll see what the Bad Boys can do. Number 17, I'd go with the Browns out of the GCFFA. They are 6-9 on the year. This was a team that was able to go 2-0 on day 1 at the AC tournament, beating the Bad Boys and NWO. They knocked off the Titans in the Sweet 16 before falling to Rampage in a close battle in the quarterfinals. Lydia's Legacy, they had a tough game with the Rollers, didn't really go very far on day 2. Not the best performance from the Browns, but, you know, they're going to come back. They'll bring it every time. They will not be in Charm City this weekend, however, so I have to wait a little bit before we talk about them and see them on the field again. Long Island Reapers, number 16, they're 7-2-2. They were the Lydia's Legacy B runner-up to Riot Squad. Key win along the way was the Long Island Ducks and AC, where they went 4-1 that weekend. However, fell short in the semifinals there to Empire. We'll see where the Reapers can go. They are joining the GCFFA in the fall. That has been talked about. And I do look forward to seeing how they do going forward. However, they will not be at Charm City this weekend. So I have to wait a little bit longer to see the Long Island Reapers again. Number 15 now is Dream, 6-12 out of Maffel. Key wins along the way on Rampage, FOE, and Blackhawks. This is a team that's played a very tough schedule. We talk about it. They play in the A circuit. Ocean City, they had to take on the Rollers and the Strong Island Bulldogs twice. You go over and saw what happened in AC, main event, takeover, and the Lions. Nothing but tough competition for this Dream squad. They have gotten some wins along the way on Rampage, FOE, and Blackhawks. Fell short in the OMFFL semifinals to the Scorpions. They were or Maffel rather. I'm looking at another one. Fell short there to the Scorps. We'll see what Dream can end up doing in this tournament. They're going to have some tough draws with Baez, Auto, and the Gladiators. But we're looking forward either way to seeing what Dream can do this weekend. Number 14 is the Elite Rebel, 6-10-1 out of the OMFFL. Key wins along the way. High Rollers, they beat them in Ocean City in the wild card round on day 2. Then they beat the Maryland Titans and ride out in league play. Rollers and AC, however, or Rebels rather in AC. Rebels and Rollers can be quite a tongue twister. Rebels and AC 0-3 on the weekend. Fell to main event, but played them tough. Fell to Strong Island, but came up short. 28-27. Wild game between those two. Day 2, 1 and done to the Scorpions. 1 and done as well in the OMFFL playoffs to ride out. They didn't have TJ Holston in that one. We'll see with him back at quarterback what they can do on Saturday when they take on the Punishers and the High Rollers. What a draw for the Elite Rebels. The two teams that just played in the Lydia's Legacy A championship. But they've been not shying away from anybody all year. We'll see what they do come Charm City Classic. Number 13 is Ride Out, 10-6-1 out of the OMFFL. Atlantic City B, runner-up to Empire. Along the way, though, they've gotten 2 wins on the Bad Boys. They beat the Demons in the quarterfinals at AC and Rampage in the semis. We talk about that AC performance. 0 points allowed through the first 5 games. The only score came late against Empire. That gave them the lead and the win. Speaking of Empire, they're number 12 on the list at 6-3 out of the XFFL. Atlantic City B champion over Ride Out. They got some wins along the way against Nomads, the Reapers as well. Fell to the Ducks in day 1 at Lydia's Legacy and the Punishers on day 2. But this is an Empire squad that has shown they can definitely compete at a high level. They will not be at Charm City, but we look forward to seeing what they can do the rest of the year. XFFL League champion. They play a 7-man style up there. They managed to win not just their own state in New Jersey, but they beat the PA champion as well. So undisputed XFFL champion, ACB champion, a team to really look forward to in Empire. Number 11 is the Maryland Titans, 11-6-1. They're out of the OMFFL. Not mentioned on here was a win over Empire, but along the way, they've beaten AFN, Long Island Demons, Ride Out, No Mercy Scorpions, Bad Boys twice, and the Misfits. Impressive resume by this Maryland Titans team. That's a win over the Maffel champion. That's also a win as well over the ACB champion. We talked about it the other night with Ryan Tapia, how much the Maryland Titans really influenced this team and helped them out to win that ACB championship. Always a tough team as the Titans. Looking forward to seeing them this time around in Charm City. We're going to move on down the list real quick. At number 10 is the Long Island Ducks, 10-7-1 out of the GCFFA. Key wins along the way, FOE, Riot Squad, Bad Boys, and Empire. Number 9 is Riot Squad, 8-3-1. Lydia's Legacy B champion over the Reapers. They've beaten the Blackhawks and the Reapers along the way. Those are their key wins right now. Riot Squad was a team that was notorious for not being able to win a day 2 game. However, they finally overcame that. They got through the hump. They got past it. So we're now getting this chance to see what this team can really do. And they have a huge chance at Charm City to make a statement against the Borough Bullies and Venom. Looking forward to seeing what Riot can do and where they end up at the end of this weekend. Number 8 is the Misfits, 10-7 out of the OMFFL. They've beaten the Elite Rebels, Scorpions twice, Ride Out, Bad Boys, and the Punishers. A very impressive resume early on by the Misfits, including that Sunday win on the Scorpions. However, Quarterfinalists at OMFFL fell to the same Scorpions team. This is a team of misfits that won't go away, though. They're still relatively new and fresh. I can't wait to see what they can do in the Charm City Classic against Baez Auto and against the Gladiators as well. Number 7 is Takeover, 8-4 out of the GCFFA. Key wins along the way, Strong Island Bulldogs and the Misfits. They will not be at Charm City, but we look forward to seeing Takeover again very soon. Number 6 is Rampage, 26-5-2 out of the OMFFL and MAFL. Ocean City B champion over Baez Auto. OMFFL league champion over the Scorpions. Runner-up in MAFL to the Scorpions. Look at this resume, though. Maryland Titans, Bad Boys twice, Baez Auto, Riot Squad, the Browns, the Scorpions, Ride Out, Elite Rebels, the Blackhawks, FOE, and AFN. What a resume by Rampage. 33 games played this season already, and they've acquired quite the winning so far. My gosh. OCB, OMFFL, the list of the teams they've beaten, unreal. What a year Rampage is having. They are just outside that top 5 mark, in my opinion, which makes them the highest ranked B team coming into this tournament. Number 5 is the No Mercy Scorpions, 17-12-2 out of the MAFL and OMFFL. OMFFL runner-up to Rampage, MAFL champion over Rampage. They've beaten AFN 3 times. They've beaten Blackhawks, Dream twice, Elite Rebels twice, Misfits, Maryland Titans, and Rampage. Great resume early on by the Scorps. Remember, they were 0-3 in OC. Great turnaround, however, in the AC tournament. They managed to get 2 wins on the Blazers. They played the Lions, very tough. Beat the Elite Rebels on day 2 and fell just short against main event in that semifinal. This Scorpions team is definitely one to look out for. They're starting to turn a corner. I'm really excited to see where they can go. Number 4 is the High Roller, 6-2. Lydia's Legacy runner-up to the Punishers. They've beaten Dream and the Scorpions along the way. Those are some of their notable wins. They will be here at the Charm City Classic, so they have a huge opportunity to make some more noise. Let's see what the High Rollers can do. Number 3 is the Lions, 11-4-1 of the GCFFA. Ocean City runner-up to the Strong Island Bulldogs. They've beaten the Misfits twice, the Elite Rebels, the No Mercy Scorpions, the Strong Island Bulldogs, and Dream. Lions will not, however, be at Charm City, so I have to wait and see what they can do next. Number 2 is the Punishers, 15-3 out of the GCFFA. A champion over the Strong Island Bulldogs. Lydia's Legacy A champ over the High Rollers. Key wins along the way, Bulldogs, Ducks, Demons, Rollers, Lions, and Takeovers. Impressive resume by the Punishers. Able to go back-to-back this time around. They'll be playing against the Elite Rebels and Ride Out. And number 1, of course, Strong Island Bulldogs, 17-3 on the year, 9-0 on the circuit out of the GCFFA. OCA champs over the Lions, ACA champs over main event, GCFFA A runner-up to the Punishers. And along the way, they've knocked off Dream, the Scorpions, the Elite Rebels twice, the Lions, Takeover 3 times, the Punishers, Long Island Ducks, and Long Island Demons. They will not be at Charm City, however, but this Strong Island team looking very strong as we get close to the midway point of this 2021 circuit season. Those are the rankings I have for now. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'm Joey Blaze. We'll go ahead and sign off, and we will see you soon.